Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's live, our Friday live with Jasmine. And I don't know, my computer decided to do a little shifting there. Um, so today we are talking about building your brand on social media. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Jasmine Bryant. I am your brand visibility coach and the founder of Fear No Video, and I help network marketers, coaches, and business owners become more visible, make more money, and just have a happier life, the life that you want, without having to beg a boss for a day off, because who wants that? So, with that said, we want to build our brands, and social media is a free resource. And free is great no matter where you are in your business journey. If you're just starting out, if you've been in business for a while, getting great stuff for $0 is amazing. All right, so why do we want to build our brands on social media? I'm so glad you asked. So, you want to create a strong brand so that you can stand out online. It is a very crowded space. No matter what platform you're using, whether it's X, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Threads, Snapchat, TikTok, whatever. It's a crowded space. And you are not the only one doing what you do. If you are a network marketer selling, a weight loss tea, there are literally thousands of others doing the exact same thing. If you are a health and wellness coach who is helping, busy moms get fit, you're not the only one. There are thousands of you. So your brand is what helps you to stand out and become different, become the person that people want to follow and work with. So this is why we want to have an authentic presence on social media. This is why we want to have our brand. Okay, so what is a brand? So it's funny, right? When I was doing a couple of summits last year, and I had a lot of folks talking about branding and marketing. And one of the things that really came up for so many people when they would talk about what their clients came to them for was, in their minds, in their clients' minds, and it might be the same for you, branding is your logo and your colors. That's not really your brand, right? Excuse me, that's not your brand. Your brand, it's how people perceive you. Your brand is what people think about you and your business. And so your brand can include, your voice, your mission, your values, and the emotional connection that you have with your audience. That's your brand. So, you know, all the things that make you you. And the biggest thing, though, that you need to remember as you start to build your brand and find your brand voice is that it needs to be authentically you. You don't want to imitate the influencer that you see on, your preferred platform if that's not who you are, because your audience, your tribe is not going to vibe with you. They're going to see through all of that. They're going to see through the, inauthenticity. It backfires. So you want to be who you are all the time. Um it builds trust, it builds loyalty. And so I'll tell you guys a quick story. So I did a video probably 8, 9 months ago. Time really has no meaning anymore. But I did a video where I was talking about, and I linked this to being authentic, but I talked about this horrendous blind date that I had. And that video was very well received across different platforms because it was real. It was me talking about this crappy date with the comb over and it was bad. Like the date was bad. But one of the reasons that I think it resonated and what people told me that it resonated, why it resonated with them is because they got to see some of my personality. They got to see, they got to learn more about me. Um, and and I was just real. It was raw. It was like, this is what happened, and this is why you don't want this to happen in your business. And the other thing is, it's relatable, right? Because everyone on this planet, if they haven't had a bad first date or a bad internet date, a bad blind date, they know someone who has. So it's instantly relatable. So you just want to just connect with your audience. And so telling a relatable story, being who you are, it's one way, the easiest way for you to connect and just be yourself. Be authentic. Don't be anyone who's not you. That's just that. Okay. So people are drawn to authenticity. Um, Again, be you. There's no one else like you. That's how you stand out. That's kind of the TLDR, right? Be yourself so you can stand out. All right, so let's talk about some keys because I love keys. Let's talk about keys to building your brand. So, the number one thing, and I have my notes here, as you guys know, because I don't want to forget things that are important for you to know. So, the number one thing is to define your brand voice. And your brand voice is how you communicate with the audience. And that's really important because it needs to reflect you. It needs to reflect your personality. It needs to reflect your values. So if you are perky and bubbly and full of effervescence, then that's how your post should read. That's how your post should look. That's how you should come across because you're being you. And I have this, you guys can see the smoke, the here. I've got my diffuser on my desk and I normally turn it away so it doesn't go and flip through the camera like it just did. Oopsies. Um, but you know what? I am who I am. You get who you get. Sorry, guys. Okay, so if you are I lost my train of thought. Okay, so you want it. So you want your brand voice and to reflect who you are. So again, if you're bubbly and personal, personality driven, full of effervescence, full of life, full of vim and vigor. That's how your post should come across. If you're a little bit more mellow and serene and just chill, that's how your post should come across. If you are a straight talker, straight shooter, this is what you get. That's how your post should come across. Now, if you are bubbly and perky and your spirit animal's a unicorn like mine is, then you're not likely to want to have posts that are a little bit more mellow and even tempered because that's not you. So again, it goes back to being authentic and being yourself and really putting it out there, putting yourself out there, which is scary, I know, but I help you with that. Identify your target audience. This is so important. Now, if you've been in business for a while, if you're just starting out, no matter whatever product or service you sell, someone at some point has told you about your client avatar. Someone at some point has told you to identify your target market, your target audience. And this is why you don't want to talk to people who don't want to hear what you have to say. So, and and it makes it so much easier. It makes it so much easier for you to have your brand voice if you know who you're talking to. It's so much easier for you to create a message if you know who you're talking to. So going back to the health coach that I mentioned earlier, if you are a health coach, a wellness coach who specializes in helping busy moms make healthy lunches for their kids. Well, that's your target audience. Talk to her. Don't talk to, the fitness bro who is all about squatting. And I'm saying that women can't squat, but don't talk about the fitness bro who's trying to, deadlift 500 pounds because that's not your messaging. That's not your voice. That's not your brand. Your brand your brand voice is talking to, the busy mom who wants her kid to eat right, but doesn't have all the time to do anything more than slap some peanut butter and jelly on some bread and put it in a bag. Right? So know who you're talking to, know your audience. And it's one thing that I love, and this is a new love, but I love analytics. Love the analytics. And the reason is when you know who you're talking to, you need to know who is actually looking at your content on social media when you're building your brand on social media. So, for instance, on Instagram, most of my content is seen by people who are not my followers. That's bananas, but that's what it is. Most of my content is seen by people who are not my followers. They are mostly women in the United States who are between 35 and 45. That's on Instagram. Now we head over to TikTok, and when I look at my analytics, my audience is 60% women, 40% men. The women are over 45, and get this, most of them, I think it's 50%, are in Zambia. I don't know how or why my content is playing well in Zambia, but that also tells me that my audience, the people who are going to buy from me right now, because I am not focused on folks in Africa, I'm focused on folks in North America. My audience is not on TikTok. TikTok is a fun place for me to host some videos. Um, but that's not where my people are. Now, at some point, maybe I want to pivot. And that's where looking at your analytics will tell you. Maybe I want to pivot and start targeting people, women over 45 who live in Zambia, because that's who my audience is on TikTok right now. On what's it? Pinterest, my audience is mostly women. I forget the percentage, but it's mostly women living in the US and Canada, which is where I'm focused. But none of them are following me. I don't know. I have about 3,000 views per month through my, on my pins that I created, not my saved pins from other people, but pins that I created. So my content is being seen, and but they're not followers. So that's why I'm not a huge fan of like the vanity metrics of likes and followers, because while it looks great and it feels great, look at your analytics and see what people are actually doing, how they're actually interacting. So like I'll see videos that are being saved. They're not being liked necessarily, but they're being saved. And that's important. And that's the algorithms love. They're being watched more than once and they're being saved. No one's just, double tapping, but whatever. Okay. So use your insights from social media analytics to learn more about your followers. Know your numbers. Know what you're doing. Create consistent visual identity. Now, this one is really important when you're talking about your brand and branding. And I actually, just before this live stream, I was on a call with my virtual assistants, and we were talking about changing up our brand colors, just the look of all the things that we put online. So everything can be cohesive, and you can look at my feed and know, oh, this is Jasmine Bryant's feed. This is from Fear No Video. And it's just like, Coke and Pepsi. If you see a red soda can from a mile away, you know it's probably a Coca-Cola. If you see a blue soda can way down the street, it's probably Pepsi. They've built that up over time. And I am of a certain age. When they changed their looks, their sales went, hashtag new Coke, anybody remember that? If you're driving along the interstate and you see cows on a billboard, without seeing the words, you know that's a Chick-fil-A sign. So that stuff is really important. So you want to be consistent. You want to have the same color scheme, the same font, and the same tone, the same feel. That's going to help you to build your brand visibility a lot faster and a lot stronger. Because again, when you're visible, you get paid. And you are not the only person doing whatever you are doing. You're not the only person selling whatever that you're selling. People want to buy from you, so you need to figure out how to make yourself stand out. And that is what I do. I help you to stand out in this crowded, noisy field that is social media and digital marketing. Okay, so I have just 2 more tips for you guys, going back to my notes. All right, so you want to share your story because your story is unique. As I said, you want to differentiate yourself from everyone else. So one of the things that is really great to do is have a pinned post on your social media, like on Instagram. I have one on my Instagram, on my Fear No Video Instagram page, a pinned post about me that says, what I do, who I am, share why you started your business, what drives you, and, talk about your journey, your challenges, make it relatable to your audience, make it personal, be real, be authentic, be vulnerable. No one's going to hate you for that. And if they do, screw them. All right. So our last tip is to engage with your audience. Because building a brand is not just about talking at people. It's about building connections, building a relationship with the people who are watching your video. So, ask questions, engage with your followers, spark conversations, reply to the comments on your posts, ask questions. Like I just said, ask a question, encourage your audience to share their thoughts. You can host live Q&A sessions because those are really great. Interactive polls to help boost your engagement. So, those are just, 5 quick things that you can do, maybe not so quick, but 5 things that you can do to help build your brand on social media. I'll just go over them again. So brand voice, defining your brand voice, identifying your target audience, creating a consistent visual identity, sharing your story, and engaging with your audience. So I would love to hear, speaking of questions, I would love to hear what you will start to do today to start building your brand on social media. Let me know in the comments. And I also want to invite you guys to join our Facebook community. I just put the link in the chat. It's the Fear No Video group. So facebook.com/groups/Fear No Video group. And, it's a great place to really just come together, vibe with each other, collaborate. A couple of folks who are in the group, they have, become friends, and I see them collaborating on their live streams and sharing, information with each other. And it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. So come join the Facebook community and, get supported, get encouraged by your fellow business owners, and really just, inspire each other and learn. There are a lot of great resources in there as well. So a lot of things for you to hop on. So I hope you guys found this helpful today, building your brand on social media, and give a link. I I already gave you a link. Give me a thumbs up, give me a heart. Let me know in the chat what landed for you and come join our community. And I will see you guys next week. Have a great weekend and, start figuring out who you are and who you're talking to so that way you can have the life that you have been dreaming.